In the previous video, we have seen about alcoholic fermentation. In this video, I am going to discuss about lactic acid fermentation. Lactic acid fermentation occurs in several microorganisms as well as in higher organisms when the oxygen concentration is limiting. If you remember, in alcoholic fermentation, pyruvate, which is the end product of glycolysis, first has undergone decarboxylation and then only reduction. But in the case of lactic acid fermentation, pyruvate undergoes reduction directly by NADH and H+. Do you remember from where this has come? Yes, the reduced nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide is made available from the sixth step of glycolysis. It enters into lactic acid fermentation, reduces pyruvate, and then gets itself oxidized into NAD+. This NAD+ again goes back to the sixth step, accepts redox equivalents, comes back to lactic acid fermentation and undergoes oxidation. This repeated oxidation during fermentation and reduction during glycolysis happens to nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide so that glycolysis occurs continuously and these organisms can derive 2 ATP molecules from glycolysis. This reduction is possible by the enzyme lactate dehydrogenase. This lactate dehydrogenase is responsible for interconversion of lactate and pyruvate, and it is a reversible reaction. If you see, both pyruvate and lactate are 3-carbon compounds because there is no decarboxylation or there is no removal of carbon atoms from pyruvate. So, if one molecule of glucose enters into lactic acid fermentation, the products obtained are 2 molecules of lactate, 2 molecules of ATP, and 2 molecules of water. There is no carbon dioxide release in lactic acid fermentation because there is no decarboxylation reaction. Now we will see examples for lactic acid fermentation. First, I will tell about lactic acid fermentation in bacteria. Production of yogurt from milk is an example for lactic acid fermentation in bacteria. The 2 bacteria that carry out this process are Lactobacillus bulgaricus and Streptococcus thermophilus. What you see here is microscopic picture of Lactobacillus species. So if you see these bacteria, when they grow in the milk, what they do is they convert sugar that is present in the milk, that is lactose, into lactic acid after fermentation. Because of production of lactic acid, there is decrease in pH. And this decrease in pH coagulates the milk protein. Protein that is present in the milk is casein. So casein undergoes coagulation, which gives the characteristic texture of yogurt. If you see these bacteria, they produce lactic acid to avoid competition with other organisms for milk. But when we consume yogurt, it has several health benefits. First one is, it has lots of nutrients. Second, even those people who cannot digest lactose can consume yogurt without any issues. So even those with lactose intolerance can consume it, thereby they can improve digestion of lactose. As they contain bacteria, that is Lactobacillus bulgaricus and Streptococcus thermophilus, these organisms can help us to maintain our gut from the disease-causing pathogenic bacteria. So we can have healthy gut if we consume yogurt regularly. Now we will move on to lactic acid fermentation in human beings. When we do any strenuous exercise like running, or if we do any intense physical activity immediately after rest without any warm-up, in such cases, muscle cells in our body will show lactic acid fermentation. So before doing any exercise, we have to do warm-up so that all organs in our body will get enough oxygen through the circulatory system for aerobic respiration. During these kind of intense activities in muscle cells, energy requirements become very high. As more energy is needed, rate of respiration increases in these cells. Because the rate of respiration increases, more oxygen is needed by these cells. So our heart and lungs try their level best to supply maximum oxygen to muscle cells. But if it is not enough in the initial stage, in such cases, muscle cells obtain oxygen from myoglobin. Myoglobin stores oxygen in muscle cells. So additional oxygen is available from myoglobin for respiration. But respiration will not give energy immediately. In such case, for energy requirement that is immediate, muscle cells will utilize phosphocreatine. Phosphocreatine contains high energy phosphate bonds with which they can synthesize ATP molecules immediately and can supply energy to muscle cells. So with this, the cells try to manage the situation. But if the energy requirement is higher, in such cases only, muscle cells will enter into lactic acid fermentation. Lactic acid fermentation requires glucose, and this is made available from glycogen. Glycogen is a storage form of glucose in muscle cells. So glucose from the glycogen undergoes glycolysis and then gets converted into lactic acid after lactic acid fermentation. Though only 2 molecules of ATP are obtained by lactic acid fermentation, the rate of this process is 2.5 times faster than that of respiration. So more ATP molecules can be formed by lactic acid fermentation. So this is how cells try to manage when the intense physical activities are happening. Once we stop doing the exercise, muscle cells will enter into recovery phase. During recovery phase, muscle cells should do 2 important works. One is replenishment of the reserves and second is removal of lactate from muscle cells. And both the processes requires oxygen. The amount of oxygen that is required for replenishment of the reserves and for removal of lactic acid from the system is said to be oxygen depth. And this has to be repaid. That is why we keep on breathing hard even after we stop running. During oxygen depth, in the first few minutes, myoglobin obtains oxygen and ATP molecules obtained from the aerobic respiration helps in the resynthesis of phosphocreatine. And this will happen, these two things happen immediately during oxygen depth. But recovery of glycogen can take few days to several days based on how much is exhausted. So this is how replenishment of reserves happen in muscle cells. Let us see why and how lactic acid is removed from the muscle cells. Lactic acid has to be removed from the system because lactic acid is toxic. At higher concentrations, it can even cause muscle fatigue. In our system, lactic acid will get converted into lactate immediately. And this lactate through the circulatory system will enter into the liver. In liver, lactate gets converted into pyruvate. Do you remember lactic acid fermentation? There, pyruvate has undergone reduction and then formed lactate. Here, lactate undergoes oxidation and then form pyruvate. This conversion of lactate into pyruvate can be done by other organs also in our body like brain, kidney, and heart. Though these organs can also do the conversion of lactate into pyruvate, liver plays a major role. A small portion of the pyruvate enters into aerobic respiration and produces carbon dioxide and water, and during the process it releases energy in the form of ATP molecules, whereas majority of the pyruvate gets converted into glucose. Do you remember glycolysis now? In glycolysis, glucose gets converted into pyruvate. Here, pyruvate gives rise to glucose. This kind of synthesis of glucose from non-carbohydrate sources is said to be gluconeogenesis. The glucose that is synthesized can help in the replenishment of glycogen over the period slowly. Can you understand how in muscle cells replenishment of the reserves happens and how lactate is removed? Is it clear? So far, we have seen about alcoholic fermentation and lactate fermentation. In the next class, I will start with aerobic respiration.